Okay, perfect. We'll just wait for everybody to settle down. So, quickly before we start, when people ask me my story, I say I am dead. Don't worry, I'm not a ghost. Still alive in the age of AI. So, dead means developer turned entrepreneur turned AI developer. Okay? So, let everybody settle down. Don't tell me this joke was dead. Okay, so after lunch, lazy Bangalore. These days, I'm very sad to be in Bangalore this time. Last time when we came, it was really great. I love to come back to India, but not in this time. I did not expect Bangalore to be this hot. But I want this audience to be really, really energetic when we talk of AI because yes, it's definitely the future and the present. So quickly, so if I quickly introduce myself, who am I, and then we'll go to the topic. So as they said, I am a serial entrepreneur. I've founded 5 companies, exited one, running a couple of them along with my co-founders across US, UK, and India. And 2 years back, we founded Rabbit AI, which is the most relevant company for this particular sake. And so if I start, so while I was at IIT, we were still working on AI and machine learning, and machine learning, or rather GenAI, was not a hype that time. So we were the people who've been working for past 10 years in the same decade when it was not even a hype. And so one thing which used to happen, why I did not pursue, I said I was a developer first, why I did not pursue AI ML roles, because in the name of AI ML, industry was selling data pre-processing kind of roles, specifically in India and in IIT. The companies which used to come for that 2 crore packages and all, majorly were the companies which were in quantitative finance and hedge funds. And I was a guy who was very science oriented, and I did not wanted to use my technology to make people lose money or make some people make money. So that's why that never kind of intrigued, and I started my career as a developer, product manager, then founded a company in the space of e-learning and assessments, named it as Amazon of Assessments, ran into some controversy. That controversy made us famous in the US. People did not remember tech curators, they remembered Amazon of Assessments. We got a lot of deals. Then eventually, another thing happened where we developed a AI localization engine. So an engine which was used to translate. Back then when we used to tell people it was AI, this was, I'm talking of 2018. When we used to tell the clients it was AI, they used to charge penalties for that, because they're like, no, we need human translators and we need human developers. But at the back end, we were secretly using AI to actually translate that text and do automation of 80%, 90% of work. Eventually, when then I sold one company in 2020, where we had some time and some money at hand, where we thought, what is the next thing we should do? And that time, fast forward to 2022 when ChatGPT was coming. So we thought, oh, this is something which is possible, because we were the people, me and my friends, who were always reading up transformers and BERT models, and we were thinking that AI will become a hype. But when OpenAI actually made it happen, we are like, oh, they have showed us the light of the day. So how can we stand a chance to be one of them and develop something which is much more usable by the industry, and which cuts beyond the hype, and we also rank in the league of AI leaders as well. So one thing we realized, so when GPT was coming, we understood that we understood that this is a land grab situation. So Larry Ellison, Oracle's founder, is one of my mentors and ideals. So he's always, in his biography, he's mentioned that whenever there's a land grab situation, people want to own stuff and not rent. Think of Bangalore of 2000, or Gurgaon, people who are from Delhi NCR, of 2000 or 1995. When there was a land grab situation, nobody's renting DLF buildings, they were buying land. So we tried to use the similar analogy in the age of AI, and we thought enterprises who have big budgets, have their own data, they would want to own their data and own their AI, and may not use API-based things. So can we build something which can be hosted inside the VPCs of the enterprises? And our market was majorly Europe, which is very heavily regulated, you know, as they say, US innovates, China manufactures, Europe regulates, and India talks. So, so we are talking here, but no, India will also build stuff. So we were like, why not use the advantage of those regulations and build something which works in our favor? So that time we started working on SLMs, right? Before even other SLMs were launched, and me along with a couple of our angel investors from Nvidia and Meta, and my co-founder is ex-Meta, who was the part of the team which scaled Facebook Messenger and all. So we, along with professors from IIT Delhi and UC Berkeley, we started working on SLMs, and we were able to launch some SLMs in two fields, majorly education and defense. I'm audible loud and clear, right? Yeah. Okay. So these were the two SLMs we built for uh, education and defense. I'll cover more details about that, how we went about doing that. And we followed an approach that rather than sending data to the model, we'll make an LLM or an SLM set in your VPC so that all the GDPR, data privacy, and even the guardrails concerns are eliminated, and we get easy access. And of course, now a lot of people are doing that, but we did this in early 2023, and God was kind, timing was good. We cracked good 10, 11 customers with an average per customer, an average of 1-2 million spent every year into 3-year contracts, and we kind of built quite good applications in the space of defense, education, and third is marketing and customer experience, majorly for European customers. That's where I was also approached by Indian Defense, and they gave us an honorary medal as well for developing vision models which can detect 12 types of signals: acoustic, radar, sonar, drone, surveillance kind of images, and convert it into natural language for processing, or for basically the soldiers to understand it in natural language. So these were some of the things we were doing, and then eventually, the second thing we started doing was on the side of RAG, where we understood that LLMs by themselves hallucinate. Even SLMs used to hallucinate. We were able to reduce hallucinations by training domain-specific SLMs, but still, when we talk of enterprise grade, we cannot completely rely on the LLM response. So we need to build RAG pipelines and other guardrails into the system. So that's where we also launched our open source RAG library, which is called as Chance RAG. It's on Hugging Face. You can view it in PyTorch. We made it, and this is enterprise grade ready. And of course, then we can do more customizations on top of it as well. And this uses an advanced fusion technique. So how many of the people are developers here? So that I know that in what, okay, a lot of, I guess more than 50%. And how many of the developers are core GenAI developers and who've been working for more than 1 year in GenAI production? Okay, few of them. So everybody understands what is RAG, right? Okay, I'll cover in one line what is RAG. RAG, retrieval augmented generation. So in very, very layman terms, when you give prompt to an LLM, it is answering basis the knowledge it already has. With RAG, you are ingesting, you are giving it, I'll just jump to that. So these were the 5 companies we founded, Rabbit AI being the one. This was the honorary medal given to me by DRDO for working in Indian defense, and we are working on some projects. Can't reveal much details, but we are working on a lot of them. And just a quick story: I'm a 3-generation military guy. And I'm the black sheep who went to IIT. Always had something, some tanas from my dad that you did not join army. I cracked NDA and JE both, but then I'm glad that the medal I have from India, my grandfathers and my uncles and my dad do not have that. So that's a great thing. So AI made that happen. So I can say I'm a I'm really fortunate to be in this time, and AI definitely I am very, and this is the award I got from Sultanate of Oman, from His Highness, and this is again for excellence in AI solutions we've done for defense and education. So India we have entered like quite recently. My other companies were active in India, but now I've moved back to India as well from UK. So in the world of, so I was talking about Chance RAG, but I'll come to that as well. Just a second. Yeah. So this is what we tried to build. So RAG, I was telling that RAG is retrieval augmented generation, where you give access to LLM, where you give access of external data to LLM. Now, when RAG is coming, we typically have a mentality when a new technology comes, we kind of disregard all the existing technologies, and you'll hear a lot of things that software developers are gonna get extinct and all that stuff, which of course is not gonna happen. So what we try to do, of course, based on some research done by good folks in the industry, open source industry, we are big promoters of open source. We found a method which is advanced fusion. So what it does is it actually merges two kind of searches. One is your regular keyword-based search, which was happening. So in the retrieval part of RAG, uh, typically in LLMs you are doing vector search. Basically all the text is chunked and it's converted into embeddings. And basis that use, you are able to, basis your query, you are doing the similarity match and you are fetching that information. That is one way, but that's not always accurate. There are some things which can still be done with keyword-based search. So we tried to merge both of them and created a RAG solution which uses the best of both worlds. And of course, the weights can be customized. So, for example, in just layman terms, if I tell, dog and Labrador and German Shepherd. In regular keyword-based search, these things are not related, correct? When you search for a dog, there can be other ways where when you search for a dog and you get to these things, but in a regular keyword-based search, you cannot have a linkage between a dog and a Labrador. But in vector search, the embedding models are trained like that, that these, in the vector space, these terms are close by and you get access to that. But both scalar search, I would say, and vector search have its own best and worst. What we tried to do is to use the best of both worlds, the scalar search, keyword-based search, which Google uses, and the vector search, given the weightage, run experiments across large data sets, and then the weights can be customized based on your use case, and then we see where the accuracy is there. And without using anything else, no reinforcement learning, no supervised fine tuning, we were able to achieve much higher accuracy, up to 98.5% accuracy just with this. And the remaining things we kind of eliminated with guardrails. So that is one of the things. And coming back to my topic, what most of the products we have built is on top of open source LLMs. So earlier it was Mistral. We have worked a lot on Mistral, and then we have worked on Falcon, and then we have worked on Llama models, of course, and now DeepSeek as well. So I'll also cover a quick case study of how we have built an application step by step using DeepSeek. Of course, it is modular. We were building that application earlier itself on Llama, but now we have replaced it with DeepSeek because one of the things with DeepSeek is, of course, it's being an open source model, it has that kind of capabilities, which is comparable to GPT and Claude. So as I mentioned about the chance RAG, we had dual retrieval system. So one retrieval is happening basis the keyword search, and one retrieval is happening basis the semantic search. And then we do the top K retrievals, and then we feed that data into the LLM for generation. So basically, it's a more efficient way of embedding your PDFs or database into the LLM model to improve the accuracy without doing any RL or fine tuning or stuff like that. We've built it on top of Mistral, open source LLM, but of course it can be with a plug and play. The architecture is like that with just 2 lines of code change. We can use any other API keys of closed source models as well and open source models as well. Okay, now let's talk about, I'll just jump to this and then I'll come back to these slides. Okay. So I'll come to this case study that what we tried to build with DeepSeek and can be with for any other LLM. So one of the use cases we found in the industry was for the marketing and SEO industry. A lot of people are employed over there, and this is a hectic process. So for a brand building, you need two, three elements. For example, number one, you need website. Then there is on-page SEO, there is technical SEO, and then there is off-page SEO. Should I take the liberty to explain it in one line, or people understand that stuff? Okay, I'll do it. I'll explain, right? No means that you don't understand. Okay. So let's say when you have to rank a website on Google or any such search engine, SEO is the search engine optimization term. How your website is structured technically and content-wise depends on how it ranks on Google. Okay. So the first thing is technical SEO. Technical SEO actually optimizes how the crawlers are going through your website. So basically, the breadcrumbs, the metadata, the page, the storage of the page, basically, if there are images and videos, the color contrast, the kind of content which is there on the page. So more of the any broken links are there or not. So all these things contribute to technical SEO, which today developers, when they uh, develop a front end, a website on any of the CMS, it could be WordPress, it could be Wix, it could be Shopify, or it could be custom on React or Next.js. You need to ensure all these things that your site is technically relevant. And then there are audit tools which today exist where you can check what is the score, performance score of the site. So that part is technical SEO. Then there is on-page SEO. So on-page SEO means that the content you have in your site, majorly the keywords which is on your page, how well it is optimized. For example, if you say that you are a top marketing agency in Bangalore or top marketing AI software in Bangalore, so how that content is there on your website, so that number one, search engines can search it and then it is valuable. And then there are how some websites rank on top compared to other sites is there's a thing called as backlink. Backlink means how many authority websites in your domain are linking back to your website. So people can do it organically and via paid things as well. For example, you can get a link, backlink from Economic Times or high authority websites, or maybe Wiley Research or that kind of Stanford, and then that backlink ensures that your site's authority is there. So we call these two terminologies as DA and PA. DA is domain authority and PA is page authority. Domain authority is your entire website's domain authority, and PA is particular pages authority, which depends on your keywords and content, number one. And second, the backlinks. So this is a manual process which currently happens in the industry. If you talk to your CMOs and marketing teams, a lot of agencies, a lot of personnel are employed to ensure that right kind of backlinks, right kind of keywords are there on your site. Okay, so that is on-page SEO, although backlinks is common for both on-page and off-page SEO. Third is the off-page SEO. Off-page SEO is basically outside your website, how things are written about you. It could be your LinkedIn, it could be your Medium page, it could be other content which points back to your website. So basically, Google optimizes, or any other platform, Google, LinkedIn, optimizes for good content, and they have to. So you need to produce a lot of valuable content for you to rank on Google. For example, if I have to publish a blog on DeepSeek, and there is a possibility I can rank on top of the official DeepSeek page as well, without running ads and all. And that depends on that depends on the skill level of my SEO people and the creativity level of my content people and the technical soundness of my tech people. Three teams are typically involved when you write this sort of technical content. Your tech team, your marketing team, and then your tech team, your content team, and then your SEO team. So this is an opportunity which we saw can be automated with agentic AI, because this is a manual process. Any brand, irrespective of whatever space they are in, if they have to get visibility on Google, they have to go through on-page SEO, off-page SEO, technical SEO, all three things. We broke down this problem statement. So this is more of a domain expertise, as I guess yesterday also somebody was saying that just being an expert in AI will not make you build the next AI unicorn, or just because you know AI, you're not going to outcompete others. 2025 is the year of AI applications, and a lot of domain expertise will be required for you to actually make a move in the market. So this is the domain expertise we have via our past experience in the industry, via some of the people in our team, and via doing all this for our previous companies. So website performance analysis, SEO audits, blog and content assessment, the blogs and content you put, marketing automation. Marketing automation means scheduling and posting posts on various channels, Quora, LinkedIn, social media performance, marketing strategy recommendations, risk management and public relations, and event strategy. And last one, which people use, is this conferences and events. In corporate terms, we call it MICE. So this is also a very important strategy when you actually have to position a brand in front of somebody. So we tried to automate all this using open source model, and that open source model earlier was Llama, now it's DeepSeek. We are empowering, and this is an application we've already built. So we've deployed 4 agents and a structure where every agent will do the task how typically humans do it. And we have divided, even we have put a nice imagery to that, that all these 4 components of brand, we have put, or rather there are 5 components of a brand, we have compared it to the 5 elements, the Panchabhutas we have: earth, fire, water, air, and akasha, space. So earth means your website, how the foundations of your website is there. Water means how fluid you are, basically how you are perceived in the industry. That means your employee reviews, your Google reviews, your business reviews. Air means that how media is talking about you, the PR and all. Fire means that how aggressively you are putting out content. What is your frequency of posting on social media, and what is the engagement out there? And space means how thought leadership oriented you are. Space is something which we can't capture. That is a uh, that is the known quantitative method. Other 4 agents are kind of taking your website link and giving you for your score on earth, water, fire, air, on all the components where a brand is built. And it goes through all these processes. It starts with one agent, starts with technical SEO, integrates with Google's APIs. We have done an API integration with almost, I guess, some 7, 8 APIs in the industry, which gives you all the audit. So those tools we have not built in-house, but rather we have kind of utilized the data from all of them and used LLM to convert it into natural language. That is one, where we do the website performance and SEO audits analysis. Then the articles you have written and articles your competitors have written. So that also it analyzes and gives you a very constructive feedback, how you are ranking organically and why you are ranking where you're ranking or you're not ranking. And all that is built with some of our proprietary data, our SLM and DeepSeek R1. Uh, then, so after doing these 4 audits, it also suggests you, after these 4 agents go through this process of doing your brand audit, it gives you content recommendations as well. So the kind of recommendations it is able to give you is your founders should go to these conferences. They are not going to these conferences where your competitors are going. Let's say you are a Zomato and you are Swiggy, and Swiggy puts a link. So it'll show that Dipinder Goyal is doing this much content here. He has gone to 7 conferences as per the publicly available data. 7 conferences past week where Sri Harsha has not gone. So you should go there. So this is one of the suggestions which comes in the space element. Then it also tells you, Swiggy has posted maybe 120 blogs and social media posts, but as Zomato, you have done probably 81. And their average engagement is this, so yours is this. So this is kind of acting as a marketing co-pilot for CMOs, that every morning in their dashboard, they can get all this information, which typically right now they do manually or semi-automated manner, in a semi-automated manner. And a lot of personal and resource cost goes there. Then other things it can tell you is this image on your site, this video on your site is very, very heavy, and it's increasing the bounce rate. So these kind of recommendations are inbuilt in the very first place. And then secondly, as these agents have memory, they have reasoning and all, and we collect all this data in this with the consent of the user, and then they can improve. They can send back these agents to us for even fine-tuning them on their specific data, even aligning them to their specific preferences. So we say this is the AI Chief Marketing Officer, which we're gonna launch, and this is gonna help this industry, which is quite manual right now. Just to give you some of the references, a lot of budgets of CMOs, like IT budget comes to India, a lot of budget of CMOs goes to countries like Philippines, Vietnam, and these countries, and you will have people just to drive up the brand engagement. You have, I've seen that in Philippines and Vietnam, you have big rooms where they have lots of screens and mobiles, and they're playing your content or increasing the click-through rate, and all that stuff is happening. So we thought that this is an industry which can be disrupted genuinely and impactfully by AI, where you give, where a CMO is no longer able to fool a CTO or a chief AI officer or a CEO, where you get real data and analytics for your stuff. So quick thing, since it's more like a technical talk, I'll also uh, tell some of the experiments we have done with DeepSeek. So of course, I guess a lot of you know. How many of the people in the audience have interacted with DeepSeek? Okay, a lot of you. And how many of you have interacted it via hosting it in your cloud or uh, few people? So a lot of you have used chat.deepseek version. Okay, so basically when you are building chat.deepseek is, we can't call it open source because it's hosted on their servers or some other servers, but we can always locally install. So we have done both the experiments for the developers out there using Olama. Just a second. Yeah. So using Olama or LM Studio, you can actually install DeepSeeks. If you have a 16 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM, you can run the 1.5 billion wala model, which runs on your local device. Otherwise, you can always use, cloud, and you can locally download this, and then you can run it. You can create applications on top of it. That is one area, or you can use Grok or Fireworks APIs as well. And that's where all the concerns about China's censorship or the model not answering certain things, that kind of goes away, because now the model is in your local host, and you can give the prompts and you can get the output. You can make utilization of the model's reasoning capabilities and not be concerned about the censorship thing. So the advice we have for developers, it's in completely open source, and we advocate the use of DeepSeek and any other open source LLMs as well. And so far we have built 3 applications and they're running fine. We have one of the applications we are launching in production. It was already running with Llama and we have shifted to DeepSeek, and the benefit is real. I can talk from the entrepreneur side. The benefit is real because actually I guess we have hit close to 20 million output tokens, and more than 12,000, 13,000 API requests, and our cost is less than $4. Right? With GPT, it would have been at least $120. So the work we used to get, and this is our daily usage. So the work where we used to spend probably 12,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees every single day, now we can get the same thing done for 300, 400 rupees. And this is a real innovation. Now, what I feel, the last message, I guess we have to come to a concluding call. All the things which were earlier not possible because of high consumption of OpenAI's APIs and non-performance of Mistral or Llama at that level, today is possible with DeepSeek. And I guess this is a wake-up call for us and a very big opportunity. I always say that. So I'll conclude by saying I believe this is the. How many of you have heard Ramayana? Good. Okay. I say this is a Jamvant movement for India. People know who is Jamvant, the king of bears. So there was a time when Lord Hanuman has to cross Lanka and he has forgotten his powers of flying because of his misdeeds in the childhood. So he reminded that you are not just a normal human being. You can fly and you can reach Ravan and Lanka by flying, which other people do not have these powers. And because of that, the story proceeded. So I feel DeepSeek movement is more like reminding India being Hanuman and DeepSeek being Jamvant, that our power has always been finding Jugaad. We are known for that, finding ways to make things work in fraction of cost. ISRO versus NASA is one example. Our Mangalyaan is another example. And then there are a lot of Zoho versus, the similar companies in the West is one example. So I guess our advantage always have been talent and cost. So let's use that advantage. Of course, we can build DeepSeek like models as well. So that is also, we have made a script to on GRP and all to fine tune a model the way DeepSeek has done that. So you guys can follow me on LinkedIn as well. We are going to open source that on 14th of Feb, where the launch of Pluto is also happening. So that can be used by you to train any other model the way DeepSeek has done the training. But I guess not just that, there are two ways we can proceed. One, creating models like DeepSeek and using that GRPO and RL technique. Second is building applications on top of DeepSeek, which can serve the customers in much better manner at faster pace, lesser cost. So yeah, that's my message. Thanks a lot. And any questions, if there are there we can answer. Yeah.
I like the dumb one, by the way, this story, but honestly speaking, when I tried this DeepSeek locally, it's not cheap, honestly. The reason is the meaningful token versus the tokens coming is, it has a lot of thinking tokens, a lot of hallucinations around it. So based on my current analysis, it is close to 4 times expensive than the Llama model if both the models are hosted locally in the system.
Okay, I guess.
So I'm coming to my question part because this is the actual story, like playing locally the models and all that. The second important point you mentioned about change and all that stuff. One thing that people are talking about on the training data set for the DeepSeek, which is still not revealed, it is already generated and all that stuff, unlike other open source models, which is a big question mark, saying until unless you let me know that your training is not biased or those kind of sources and all, it's difficult to go for these models with the customers because a lot of reputation at stake, right? So how do you handle those situations?
Okay. Yeah. So I'll tell you. So there are two case studies, as I said, which we have with DeepSeek, and third one is our own Pluto. But two customer case studies from that I'll share. See, one thing is what we have built and done for all the models in the past as well. We just use it for the purpose we want to use it, and any other things we block. That could be done through guardrails, through putting your own intent classifier model in input or output, and that works for us really well. I'll come to the cost part later. So let's say if one of the things I'm using DeepSeek is for becoming a Python copilot for one of our clients who want to do the AI development and all, and we want DeepSeek to become a Python copilot. Now we as an enterprise, this is more of a, I guess, an enterprise question, a business question than a tech question. So we always use mixture of experts. So one of the models I'll tell you we've built for an insurance major, and we have 4 LLMs, or we have 4 possible outcomes. A query comes, it's a customer support query. We have an intent classifier model, which is completely ours, basic ML. And then basis the intent classification, it either routes that query to a human agent or to a regular FAQ-based chatbot or to a local LLM or to a global LLM. Okay, here by global LLM, I mean GPT and all the proprietary things as well. So whenever we actually take this to production, we don't take any model 100%. We try to reduce the exposure of a model at less than 10-15%, and then we do a POC. And if there are certain issues, then probably we can take it off. So that's the case. Even with when DeepSeek is coming, at the back end, we have Llama as well, we have Mistral as well, and we are still using Claude and GPT's APIs as well. So we have a query routing mechanism. Depending on the use case of the customer or my own use case, we can do that. Second thing is guardrails, right? If my model is built for coding, you come and ask it for dating advice, it'll actually not tell you anything. And even if you tell it, my layer blocks it. So I always have an application layer before and after. At input and output, we are heavily kind of regulating it. And when you're doing that, there is no point whether it is open source or closed source, because you are controlling the input and you are controlling the output. And application is entirely in your control. So even if the model hallucinates, my end user reputation is not going to get disturbed. Okay, maybe we can take a lot more questions outside. I guess that's
Friends, Harnit will be available outside the audio too, so feel free to connect with him there. Due to time constraint, we'll have to just wrap it up. Thank you, Harnit, for the session.
Thank you, everybody.